Never heard this.
You got simp, and the totes thing went away. Thank God that went away.
Is that like totally?
They'd be like, "Oh, it's totes adorbs, man." And you're like, nope. I remember the first time this girl said that, one of Haley's friends. I'm like, "Stop it! Nope, that's not going to be a thing." Oh, you're so random. I'm like, no, that's not going to be a thing either. Go out and do drugs like other kids. It's easy to get him, man. Welcome to Fin Tips, everybody. What do you think? That's pretty cool, huh?
This is cool.
So we've been working on that. We got Dustin and Eric down there at the bottom.
It took me a minute to catch that.
Yeah.
To see actually us in there.
Thought that was cool. The Fin Tips podcast. We got everything else up in here. We got the dough up in the box there. We're both looking at it saying, we're going to go for that box, man. That's what we're going to do.
That's it.
I like it. Very, very cool. Well, we've got a topic today that I'm actually going to.
I was stuck for a second. I was thinking like you hit the little thing and like you grow up. So like one day we're
gonna grow up.
Yeah,
we'll get the mushroom. By the way, this singular game is the reason for this bald spot. Did you play this as a kid? No.
Yeah, I did. On the original Nintendo.
Original
Nintendo. I did.
You had to beat it. Like when you sat down to play, you were playing because you couldn't save it.
Yeah.
And I would remember just getting so worked up about everything and slamming controllers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you couldn't beat it, you had
I remember
to restart.
the flagpole. You jump to the flagpole thing. Yeah.
Or you'd get to like World 5 and like you're like, I'm going to do this methodically. I'm going to get through. I'm just going to make this happen. You get to World 5 and the little thing would like shift. And so the screen would go and your game would be over and you'd be like, oh.
See what I did? I got him going.
Oh, I would be so mad.
It's funny. You were about to go into this whole Roth conversion, and then it's like,
no, I have chest pains now.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this to you a little bit because I'm going to have a little unfair advantage. So he had the idea. I'll let you explain the idea. I pulled the data, and so I want to see what you think ahead of time. We're going to play a little bit.
Yeah. All right. And so the whole breakdown of this is really when is the best time to do a Roth conversion. Talk to a lot of people. A lot of people are like, when's the best time to do this? There's videos out there that show when the best time they say is to do this.
Yep.
So my thought process was, I said, hey, Dustin, why don't you go, because he's always good at, pulling the data there, and say, I want to look at each year and historically each year and say, my thought process is historically the market's always, will generally go up. So if you start in January, might as well just go ahead and do the Roth conversion early because the markets are going to go up. But then is there something historical that shows like, every year on average, the lowest point in the market of the S&P is in July.
Nope.
So
goodbye.
Yeah, and just kind of trying to figure that. So then to say, well, you know what, do you want to roll the dice and take this and say that, we're going to convert some in January and some in July? Or do we want to just, say we're going to do this? So yeah, that's kind of the premise of it. But I'm curious to see what your data found on this.
Well, if you had to guess, is your guess that you would be better off converting in January and just calling it a day? Or do you have any other guesses there?
From a guess perspective, I would say, generally speaking, the past couple years have been a little different. With volatility, with Feds raising rates. Generally, yes, January. Just do the conversion, get it out of the way, and be done for the year.
Okay. In all honesty, and this is why I think this, I would have guessed June because it's right around my birthday. I was born in June. And so I just happen to notice it's like the markets are always down. Like
sell in May and go away.
It's like I get that June swoon or whatever you call it. And so it
swing.
sticks in my head. The markets are down. It's my birthday, whatever. So I would have guessed June.
Okay.
Myself, let's take a look here. Oh, here is, in fact, I had to use the Dow because we needed to go back 100 years. The S&P doesn't quite go back 100 years, but it is very, very similar.
Okay.
We could do one with the S&P if people like this video, and we'll go back as far as we can. But this breaks it up nicely because what's going to happen is somebody's going to say, yeah, but that's 100 years. So I said, well, let's do a generation then. 20 years worth of saving and investing and converting. 50 years, 100 years. So we broke it down.
Okay.
So we're currently in the month of April. Over the last 100 years, April as average gain of 1.47%. Last 50 years over 2 and last 20 years over 2. So April is not your year.
Okay.
If you look around over the last 20 years, you do have June, so the feeling was right there. But you also have over the last 20 years, January is your chance. So you had the right idea. If you're going to get an opportunity, it's in January, because the rest of the year, each month is going to average a 0.6% gain.
Okay.
So where you would be wrong is over the last 50 years, there would have been better times to do it. And statistically, your best bet would be September. So now that's not saying that we couldn't have gained 10%, then fallen, right?
That's what I was going to ask you. So if we're looking at this chart and trying to get my bearings straight on this,
Yep.
and so this is the monthly percent change.
Yep.
So here we're going to say, if we start at 0, we're up 1%, we're up 1.4, we're up 1.5 there, so almost 3%. You're down a little bit. Is that how this is factored in if you're looking at this, or how would you?
This is literally the average change in a given month.
Okay.
So with the assumption that somebody says, you want to convert when the markets are down, preferably. It doesn't have to be the low of the year, but you'd like to convert when the markets have got a good chance that throughout this month the market's going to fall.
Yeah.
If we were to look at the low of every single year, it turns out there's no distinct pattern there. There's not even close. You're not even within a 60-day window to say this is your window. That was difficult to do.
Okay, so that's what I really wanted to see.
Oh.
So basically,
It's impossible.
Like it's like, hey, all these people that are saying, do it twice a year, do this, do that, dollar cost Roth conversions.
Yeah.
There's so many talk and strategies out there. So basically, it comes down to truly just do the best you can.
Well, so option A would be if you happen to believe that that's the low for the year, use it. You're not. That's the fun part. You get to time the market on a conversion. Nobody's going to kick your butt on that.
Yeah.
However, you cannot find a window where you say it is typically between May and August there is that decline. You might think there is, but over the 20, 50, and 100 years, I can't even find a correlation that puts us close. So I said, let's do the next best thing and say, all someone wants to do is convert when the value of their account has fallen. That's it.
Yeah.
We do something called journaling here where we just pick the positions up and move them so we won't be out of the market. But give me something. Give me the opportunity for a pullback. So September would be your biggest opportunity. Here, let's just go this one. There's another way to look at it. So September would be your biggest opportunity for a pullback.
Gotcha.
So if you had to guess on average year after year when you were going to convert, you'd use September. I might also add if you were maybe thinking like, hey, I want to buy some more when the market's down, well, you might be thinking September there. You would be in big trouble if you waited till the later part of the year. Average gains, let me go back up to this guy here. Average gains start creeping up. That's your Christmas rally, your holiday season. There's no chance. So the answer is definitely not to convert at the end of the year if you have planned ahead and you can afford to take the time to know what you got to do.
Yeah, and I'll throw one argument there only for clients that are watching and they're like, well, that's not what Eric said. No, but for for the people that potentially this is their first year in retirement.
Okay.
Sometimes my idea with this and really just wanting to walk through the idea of, well, should we go ahead and do the conversions? Oftentimes they're stepping into the retirement either partially in the year or this is their first year of retirement. And it's a learning year. I say that it's trial and error because you're going to be withdrawing a certain amount out of your account and you're going to be saying, okay, I need this much to live on. But you may find that you need less to live on. You may find you need more. It is a trial and error year for that year. And sometimes, especially for the people that are saying, hey, well, I'm retiring in March, I may or may not get a bonus. Well, we're not going to go ahead and convert early on that year. I often tell them to wait and let's start to see what this year looks like, because if they get a bonus or something crazy happens, then that's going to knock them up into a much higher tax bracket. So there's strategy here that comes into play with any Roth conversion.
Guaranteed.
Phone always goes off. So there's strategy that always comes into play, though this is just to look at. I think this is a cool chart to look at for sure.
I would also mention that this is such a unique thing for the individual because, like he just said, someone's income may not be ready to be determined by this time early in the year. As you get later in the year, you say, well, September would be the most ideal. It would have been almost perfectly the most ideal last year. October was the low.
Yeah.
But that makes more sense to me if we're right here in April and I go, okay, we need to do a conversion. By September, we'll have at least a clearer path of your income for the year.
Right.
And we know we've got the advantage of September. But much past that, you say, well, I don't know. You're walking into a bullish seasonal market, so a little bit tough there.
That makes sense.
And so here we are in April, by the way. Explains a few things, right?
Right.
Explains a few
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. You just look at the roller coaster we've been on. It's just riding up and down.
I love it. Well, let's go back to this because that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
So my daughter is 7, and she likes silly jokes, and so she told me a joke for the day.
Okay.
Her name's Adeline, and so I got to show her this video now and actually go back and actually fast forward to get her there. She says, "Why do cows wear bells?"
I don't know.
Because their horns don't work.
Nice.
That's
Very good,
That's
Alan.
from
Oh, my
Adeline.
God. You nailed it there. You love it.
Oh gosh, man! I got to really come up with some good ones. You know, I watched one the other day. It was a story. It was a good joke. It wasn't a dad joke. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't ultra dirty or anything.
Yeah.
It was PG. And so I'm like, that's what I need is a good PG joke.
Okay.
So
Well, Adeline, I got one for you then. What do Spanish people cut their pizza with? Little Caesars. I can
you
say
can
that.
Say it, you are Spanish.
I'm Puerto Rican. I can
Part
say that.
Spanish. Yep.
I love it, man. That's better than
I'll
the one.
laugh because you're part Spanish. Because,
Hey.
don't get us canceled around here. I'm always worried with this guy.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching and putting up with us, and we will see you soon.